This commentary you're listening to is going to be proof that PC doesn't know how to identify or would even know what the hell anti-whatever, if it even hit them in the face. Now, there have been quite a few individuals online who are trying to push this notion that there is a such thing called anti-white racism, and usually they like to bring up the great replacement theory, or they feel white men or PC men are getting pushed to the back, or they hate the words diversity, or they love using the word woke, and all this, that, and the third. Which brings us to this situation involving this individual by the name of Josh Lekach. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce his name. At this point, I don't even care how you pronounce his last name, because what he did not only made him look like a fool and an idiot, but it also ended up doing more bad and harm to the person he thought he was helping. But let me just go ahead and just kind of lay it out. Josh Lekach, or however you pronounce it, we'll just call him Josh L, because that's what he should be referred to as taking a huge L for what he did. Apparently, I didn't know who this person was until today, and shout out to Kid Gravity, because that's how I found out about this. Apparently, he's some kind of podcaster. I think he has some ties to people in the industry, because I pulled him up. He has an IMDb page, but I think he only got like 2 credits on there. But I've seen some pictures of him when he looked like, I guess, was a teenager, because he's clearly an adult now. And I think he has like a child or maybe 2 children. And some of the pictures I saw of him, he was taking pictures with Paris Hilton. So he probably knows some people in the industry, but he may not be in the industry anymore. And apparently now he has a podcast. But then again, in 2023 and going forward, who doesn't have a damn podcast? Podcasts went on the rise since the pandemic. So there's that. And that's pretty much all I really know about him. He apparently also has this website called Wrong Opinion, where he does his podcasting off of as well, that he's been trying to push with this situation, but you'll see what I mean. But the reason why he's a fool and why he ended up hurting someone is because if you look at this picture right here that you see on your screen, it's of this kid right here who apparently was trying to go to Cornell. Now, I think there was a video with this, but I couldn't find the video. But the video apparently looks like it's only about 5 seconds long based on the timestamp, so it wasn't that long anyway. And apparently the kid in the video got upset because of him being rejected by Cornell University. But if you look in the screenshot, Josh took it upon himself to post the video and then at the top leave a caption and said, "Bro got rejected because he's white." And it was posted on December 17, 2023. It got shared 36 million times, so it pretty much went viral, and you see all the other analytical stuff right there below it and the post engagement. Well, apparently that is not the reason as to why this kid got rejected by Cornell, but Josh again took it upon himself to turn it into a narrative that it wasn't, and ended up doing way more harm than it did good. Because check out this screenshot from a message that the kid responded to Josh with, and then also check out how Josh responded as well. It's very self-serving, and it's not even a good response to that either. The response, okay, so at the top is the response from the kid in the video. He says, "I'm the person in the video you posted about. My life is being turned inside out because of this whole scenario. I didn't say it was because of race. If anything, it was my extracurriculars ability to spell out a story of what I wanted to do. I am begging you to take down this post because it has completely jeopardized my future." So as you can see from that response right there from the kid in the video, he's telling Josh it has nothing to do with race. It has nothing. They didn't reject me because, of a quota or anything like that, or a diversity thing. It's because of this, but you took it upon yourself to try and say that it's because I'm white, when that was definitely not the case. It was something completely different, because apparently based on his response, they told him why that was the case, and it had nothing to do with his race of him being white. But Josh took it upon himself to turn it into that narrative, and it ended up backfiring not only on Josh but also on the kid more so than anything. But really pay attention to how Josh responded to this. He says, "Hi John, I wanted to let you know that," and John is the name of the kid, by the way. He says, "I wanted to let you know that I'm taking down my post now. I hope you realize that you need to be careful about what you post online in the future." Now, look at that. You took it upon yourself and said and assumed that he got rejected by the school because he's white, but you're going to tell this kid whose life you just put in shambles in a matter of less than 24 hours by saying it was because of race when it wasn't, which I'm sure got back to the school, and now they probably definitely won't take him. And then on top of that, they're going to probably see him as a problem, and he probably won't be able to go to any other school that he may qualify for. And then you're going to tell him that he needs to be more careful about what he posts online when you posted ended up ruining him. See what I mean right there? He's trying to not take accountability for anything he did at all. It goes on to say, my post was meant to be satirical and humorous, but unfortunately you can't control how people perceive things online. Now it's satirical. See, no. See, he's trying to back out of it. He was being dead ass serious. He was not being satirical at all. And then on top of that, you got to think, we live in an age, not just on social media, but offline in real life, where you have a lot of PC men who actually will believe that they are under attack because of their skin. They really want to put themselves into this victim oppressed area that they have placed black people in for so long. And they're trying to weasel their way into that spot. So you can't even joke about something like that online, because of course they're going to eat it up, and they're going to automatically place in their mind, oh, he got rejected because they took in a black kid, or they took in a South of the Borderian kid, or dare I say an Asian kid. So he's saying it's satirical and all that, but he was not being satirical. Josh was being dead ass serious. I'm not falling for that BS. He goes on to say, but unfortunately, you can't control how people perceive things online. However, you should not let the negative comments of some people online affect your future prospects. These comments are insignificant in the grand scheme of things, and people move on quickly from one thing to the next. Remember, your future is in your hands, and you alone have the power to shape it. So listen, just looking at that means that this kid got all this unwarranted attacks on him from a lot of other people that was probably telling him, oh, shut the F up. You didn't get rejected because you're white and everything, especially since y'all make up a good majority of the population at this school anyway. He probably, like I said, he probably got hit hard with a lot of negative rants and unwarranted attacks, and maybe even threats from certain people for what he said. And he most likely, again, got back to the school. But when you look at this, Josh is trying to push himself away from the narrative that he spun to try to make it seem like he was the one that, like, basically in a nutshell, he tried to make it seem like it was this kid's fault. He basically said that in so many words in the first paragraph of his response, when he said, you got to be careful about the things you post online. Again, this is not an apology. Nowhere in this did he apologize at all for what he said as far as putting out the narrative that he didn't get into the school because he's white, nor did he apologize in the message either. Then he ends it off with, I sincerely wish you all the best and lots of success. Man, this kid probably wanted to find Josh and put hands on him for what he did. I'm sure anybody in that position would have wanted to do the same thing, because not only, it's not even the fact that he couldn't get into Cornell for whatever the reason was which he gave, but it's also all over the internet. I'm sure other schools where he qualified are looking at that and saying, oh, this guy's a problem. He's going to be one of those. He's going to be one of those Charlie Kirk types. We can't deal with that. We already have him banned on our campus. We don't need another one on here, because they're going to know that they're going to think that, oh, he's going to come into the school with a particular agenda, and we just cannot have that on our hands. That's what this Josh guy did to this kid, and he's not taking any responsibility for it whatsoever. But then again, Josh is such an egomaniac. Check out how he chose to respond to the people. He said, I deleted the post about the Cornell University kid at his request. But the thing is, the damage is already done. It's already circled around so many times. Remember, 36 million times, or views, however you want to put it. Then he goes on to say, to the men mad at me, you're acting like a chick. Are you proud of yourself? To the women mad at me, who allowed you to log online? You should be frolicking through meadows, baking pies, painting with your children, and being your, I'm gonna say, wholesome self. We love you that way. So now he's attacking the people that confronted him about what he did, because again, he's still not taking any accountability for what he did to this kid and ruining his future as far as college goes. And not only just ruining his future for college, but it could probably ruin other opportunities outside of a collegiate system, like say in the corporate world, assuming that's the arena that he wants to go into. And like I said, he's still not taking any accountability whatsoever. So he's just attacking the people that's coming at him left and right. And then at the end, he kind of like plugs that he's going to be addressing that on his podcast, on his Wrong Opinion website, where of course people underneath it was clowning him again and said, ain't nobody about to watch that shit. So he's gonna have to deal with the brunt force. So he's gonna have to turn his comments off or make his page private or whatever the case may be. As far as I know, his page is still very public. That's how I was able to retrieve the post. But yeah, this is what happens when you wrongfully say that this and this is anti-white and it's really not. This dude didn't have the whole story behind what was going on, but he took it upon himself to say what it was and what it wasn't. And now someone else has to face the brunt force of something he put out there that was not true. And then to add insult to injury, to not even apologize to the person who you have pretty much crumbled their lives right before their very eyes in a matter of hours, maybe even less, especially when you have a huge following, because I think he has like 140 something thousand followers, so he has a pretty decent following. And it gets all the way back and you still didn't apologize, nothing. You just said, you just threw all the blame onto the person that you pretty much, I guess you could say, victimized, and then turned it right back onto the people that came at you, and rightfully so, for what you said. And then gonna try to revert and direct them to your damn podcast where you're trying to further explain what's going on. If you don't get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, that's why we can't listen. This is why we cannot take these clowns seriously. We cannot take them seriously. Imagine you trying to think you was doing a good deed, if you want to call it that, by calling out something that was anti this and anti that, and it wasn't anti this or anti that, and it ended up backfiring on the person that you claim to be helping, and then take responsibility or accountability for it, and it backfired on you too. Like anything that this Josh Lekach or however you pronounce his name said, Josh hold this L, says from here on out should definitely be looked at with a side eye. But then again, I looked at some of the stuff that, you know, when I was looking up a picture of him to post, some of the stuff that I saw of him, like I guess if he has a YouTube channel, I kind of see what lane he's in, and it's in that lane. Y'all, if y'all read between the lines, you know exactly what I mean when I say that lane.